that's what this is what the Vikings are competing with, and this next year it'll be, someone else, or these are what the elite teams do, and it's something that the Vikings have not been able to do for an awful long time.
Well, after seeing what I saw on Sunday, it's time to bust up the Seahawks. Let's get that team broken up. And the Vikings kind of started it already by hiring Matt Thomas, a football administration consultant. Thomas was a veteran of NFL salary cap executive who previously spent 11 seasons with the Seahawks, vice president of football administration. The Vikings hired him to help out Rob Brzezinski in the upcoming draft. So I guess my first question is, A, was it a good move? And B, why is Thomas leaving a Super Bowl team? Probably for more money.
Well, Thomas left the shakeup when Pete Carroll left. When Pete Carroll, even though John Schneider was the one who directed, he was GM. Pete Carroll still maintained final say on things. Now you could say, "Oh, it was Pete Carroll who made all those picks." Well, no, in good situations like that, like the Pete Carrolls or when Bill Belichick, they get a general manager that they can trust and they can turn their back on and let him do his job and do the right things. But this guy that the Vikings hired, whenever Pete Carroll was let go in Seattle, then John Schneider they added president to his title, general manager and president, which means he's the king. What he says goes on everything. And I think if you go back, and this Matt Thomas, was a cap guy in Seattle and made a lot of good moves that helped them, sign guys and everything. And it seemed like he and John Schneider were on the same page. Well, maybe they weren't entirely on the same page. So Matt was let go in that fallout of Pete Carroll leaving. Is it a good move? Yeah. Anybody that Rob Brzezinski would tap to come in and help him with the cap, being as good as Rob is with the cap, you got to trust him. The irony of being Seattle, that he's having someone come in and help, is, the poison pill, if you remember way back in 2006, when when Rob Brzezinski pushed the envelope that the NFL had a loophole the NFL had to close. And then when Seattle, to get Steve Hutchinson in here, he put a contract out there. The Seahawks didn't put the no, where nobody could come in and negotiate. Right. They didn't want to do that. So Brzezinski came in and wrote a contract that said that Steve Hutchinson would be the highest paid offensive lineman if he played, more than, or what was it? If he played, basically if he played all of his games outside of Seattle or something like that. So they had to sign it, as if he wouldn't be in Seattle.